Let's turn now to the latest in British Columbia and go right to our reporter who's on the ground in Kelowna. CBC's Sam Sampson joins us now. So Sam, what's the latest on the state of evacuations there?
We just got some new numbers this morning from the province. So we're looking at 13,000 people who are still on evacuation order. That means that they are not allowed to even go near their own properties. And listen to this number, 48,000 who are still on an evacuation alert. So maybe they are home, but that means they have to be ready to go at any time. I want to break that down for you. That means there are about 4,500 people in the southern interior who are on an evacuation order. Now, in terms of damage and destruction, in this area, there are about 181 properties that have been damaged or destroyed. And so that includes West Kelowna, which is just kind of behind me there, and that was a real issue. The fire there was still threatening some homes, continues to do so. We actually saw a controlled burn happening yesterday and also the day before. The firefighters are still very much treating that as an active situation. Now, just north of here in the Shuswap region, that is where the fire of note in British Columbia is situated. So that is one of the largest fires that's going on right now, and 11,000 people in the Shuswap region have been forced from their homes with no timeline whatsoever on when they can get back. Officials, we just received numbers yesterday, 131 homes and properties have been destroyed, and that number could go up as crews get into more neighborhoods and start to assess what actually happened. And so there is some good news for locals in the Shuswap region, though. Highway 1 between Chase and Sorrento is now open. However, you can only drive through there. So if you are in the area, make sure you don't try to take a left or a right, because it's specifically just to drive through on Highway 1.
You know, Sam, as we go through these stories, the devastation for people, for their properties, for the environment, but also in huge ways for the economy, specifically where you are, the issue of tourism. Bring us up to speed on that part of the story.
So in terms of tourism here in the interior, this area thrives off of it, especially at this time of year. And so this is the first weekend that tourists have been welcomed back after the recent fires. This is significant because last weekend, tourists were restricted from having hotel rooms, campsites in the interior because they wanted to free up space for evacuees who were coming in. That was a provincial order, and it was expected to last until early September. Well, they called it off just a few days later because the order worked. There was lots of space for evacuees. But then, even though it only lasted for a few days, different hotels and different businesses that rely on tourism expressed just how difficult that shutdown was for them. Take a listen.
I can tell you that I've talked to two smaller operators who have just over 100 rooms, and in 3 days, each of them lost $250,000. So I think the magnitude, when you then amplify that across all of the communities and properties, is going to be significant.
Just a few days. What a financial loss there. I want to talk about loss, though. There has been no loss of life from these recent fires, and the provincial officials, of course, want to keep it that way. So as much as tourists are welcome back in this area right now, businesses are open, they want people to come in. All of the officials, provincial fire crews, they want to reassure, or rather remind people that this is an active, dynamic situation. We're heading into a weekend that is hot, dry, more seasonal temperatures than we've seen compared to the cooler weather that we have had. And so because of that, everybody should just be a bit aware that, as we have been throughout this entire summer, the fire situation can change very quickly.